At this moment in time, what are the sources of strength and struggle in your life?
Strength comes from those around me. I'm subject to self-doubt like anyone else, and it usually happens when I'm tired and when I'm by myself. But when I'm around those who share my cause, and when I'm around those who believe in me and I believe in them, I find the strength to do remarkable things. I'll tell you a story. So when I was writing Leaders Eat Last, it was the most difficult thing I've ever done. You know, writing about human behavior is like unraveling a ball of string, you know. It's so hard, and you have to, every chapter could have been its own book, you know, there's so much density, and it kept going off in different, you know, when I sat down to write, Start With Why was something like 68,000 words. When I sat down to write Leaders Eat Last, I accidentally wrote 150,000 words and hadn't even started yet, you know. I mean, it just kept coming out, and the research kept going in every direction, and I had no idea how to organize it. It became so painful to organize all this information, and it got to the point after many attempts and starts and restarts and reorganizations, I actually gave up. I actually decided I wasn't going to finish, and I remember I was sitting at my desk. It was at 8:30 or 9, and I got up and I just walked out. I just left, and I went for a long walk, and I was planning my exit. You know, I had convinced myself, if I never wrote the book, no one will miss it, no big deal. And I was literally planning how to get out of my contract, that I have to give back the advance, and, you know, I'd be humiliated for a while, but I'll get over it, and, you know, and I was literally planning to quit. And I called a friend of mine who's used to be in the Air Force Special Forces, and I called him up in the middle of the night, and I don't even think he said hello. I think I just started talking. And I asked him, I said, what do you do? This was the question I asked him. What do you do when you can't complete the mission? That's what I asked him. And as is his nature, he told me a story. He told me a story of a mission that in Afghanistan, he was a helicopter pilot back then, that they were ordered to do, and it was a suicide mission. And meaning everyone was, the intelligence was obvious, they would all get shot down, and they wouldn't complete the mission. It wasn't one of these kill Hitler missions where we're all going to die, but we'll kill Hitler. It's not like that. Like, we were all going to die, and it would be pointless. It's literally just a suicide mission, right? And he and his wingman were preparing their helicopters and getting ready to go, and his wingman turns to him and says, what do we do? Like, do we refuse to go? You know, they got wives and kids, and like, you know, and my friend turns to his wingman and says, no, this is what we signed up for. We go. They ended up canceling the mission, thank goodness. And then he says to me, you know, is this book more or less powerful than Start With Why? I said, it's more powerful. I said, okay. He said, before I met you, he said, I read this book called Start With Why, and it re-inspired me and gave me rejuvenated a sense of inspiration in me that I had lost in the Air Force. And if you're saying this is more powerful than the first one, then we need this book. He says, but beyond that, he says, this is what you signed up for. You have no choice. This is the cause you undertook. You have no choice. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no like, don't worry, you know, if it's not going to work out. He just said, this is what you signed up for. You have no choice. And I turned around, went back to my desk, and finished writing.